This is the Brownstone Center News Update for Tuesday evening, January 27th, 2025. Let's go ahead and wrap up our day together, shall we?
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
All right, welcome to the Brownstone Brief, your evening edition of the news that's happening around the world. A couple of things. First of all, if you're not familiar with who I am, I'm Paulette, owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio, and Brownstone Living Magazine is Cityscape Magazine. We're going to be talking to you guys this evening about what's happening in the news. So let's just go ahead and get started, shall we? And you all can say what you want to, but let's go ahead and get some of that news that otherwise you may miss because of all of the things that are happening around the world. So we're going to try our best to hit some things that really matter. So spending on an artificial intelligence has absolutely exploded, but it's not yet the economic force many believe it to actually be. And in fact, consumption was the main driver of U.S. gross domestic product growth last year, according to Brajakta Bide of MRB Partners. AI spending came in second, actually, believe it or not, accounting for 20% to 25% of real GDP growth for the first 3 quarters of 2025. When adjusted for real imports of related equipment and materials. Now, separate research from Bespoke Investment Group put that figure together even lower, around 15%. So consumption, consuming products was still the big determining factor. Wall Street will be intently poring over big tech earnings, Meta and LinkedIn parent Microsoft this week, Amazon and Alphabet next week, in efforts to read the quote tea leaves on the pace of expansion of each firm's AI infrastructure and its plans. Now, NVIDIA is set to reveal its own results next month and will be shadowed priced first based on these tech firms' numbers and the overall sentiment they evoke, according to Quartz reports. Quarterly results this time aren't so much about beating expectations, rather whether heavy AI heavyweights can credibly connect spend to monetization, according to the publication. And that's a big one. And let's talk about Starbucks in the news. Starbucks shareholders are going to get a glimpse of Brian Niccol's plans for the next phase of the company's turnaround efforts when the CEO holds an investor meeting later this week. And while the company can boast of recent improvement in its stock performance, challenges still remain. According to an anonymously sourced Reuters report, fix the company's supply chain issues is still a work in progress. Now, the Wall Street Journal is actually reporting that the company is rolling out new staff training sessions to make its stores more welcoming, though labor disputes remain ongoing. Yale University is expanding its financial aid program for undergraduates. The university announced today, offering free tuition to families with incomes below $200,000 starting in the fall of 2026. The university says it will cover all costs of attendance, including housing, meal plans, and travel costs for families with typical assets and incomes below $100,000. Other elite universities, including the University of Pennsylvania and Harvard University, offer similar assistance. The announcement comes as pressure builds on universities to address affordability with millions struggling under student debt. U.S. Airlines is anticipating another significant winter storm as cancellations begin to taper off from the weekend freeze, which has claimed at least 45 lives. Over 2,500 flights were scrapped today after a post-pandemic high of more than 11,600 Sunday. Bitter cold and freezing rain across much of the eastern U.S. slowed its efforts to get services back on track. American Airlines said it expects to take a revenue hit of about $150 million to $200 million from Winter Storm Fern. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to be giving you more news and information that you can use. But let's jump into a little bit of something first. All right, folks, we're back. I want to introduce you to my mini-me. She's got something special that she wants to tell you before we get back into the news and information that you can use.
For news and information, head over to brownstoneworldwide.com.
Okay, and you guys, just like that, brownstoneworldwide.com is going through a revamp right now. We're congealing all of the things together into one place where you'll be able to get news and information. You'll get commentary from folks like Marshawn Alanio, who also has a podcast at Cityscape Radio, so you'll definitely be able to check her out on her podcast, which has been with us now officially for 3 years. At Love Restored. It airs Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So big shout out to her. But news and information is what you will find at brownstoneworldwide.com. Let's go ahead and get back into some of this news and information. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Brownstone Brief. Let's go ahead and get some more news and information together. Let's start up with UPS. They're going to be cutting 30,000 jobs as it readies its post-Amazon future. So let's talk about that. UPS is going to reduce its workforce, again, as I stated, about 30,000 people this year, according to their CFO, Brian Dykes, today on a call with analysts following the company's latest earnings report. Now, the new cuts are on top of the 48,000 roles UPS eliminated last year as it winds down its relationship with Amazon, formerly its largest customer. Now, the workforce reduction will be accomplished through attrition, Dyke said, as well as a second voluntary separation program for full-time drivers. UPS has been focusing on higher margin shipments, and it beat Wall Street estimates for the fourth quarter. Pinterest is another one that's going to be cutting some jobs. It's planning widespread layoffs and office space reductions in the coming months, it said Tuesday. The job cuts are going to impact less than 15% of the overall workforce, according to a securities filing, and will be carried out by the end of September. The shakeup comes as part of a broader shift of resources as Pinterest focuses more closely on, quote, AI-powered products and capabilities in order to attract Gen Z users. Earlier this month, the company appointed its first ever chief business officer as part of the same effort. United Health Group expects annual review to drop in 2026 for the first time in more than 3 decades, and a sign that the embattled health insurer's turnaround plan hasn't yet gained traction. Shares plummeted more than 19% on Tuesday, and the soft guidance that overshadowed a minor earnings beat, as well as a government proposal to keep private Medicare payments flat next year. United Health hopes to reverse its fortune, CNBC reports, by shrinking membership, raising prices, cutting benefits, and increasing transparency. Meta has struck a $6 billion deal with a legacy manufacturer, Corning, for fiber optic cables to equip its expanding data centers. And that's according to CNBC reports. So the agreement, set through 2030, supports Meta's $600 billion infrastructure push, including plans for 30 new data centers by 2028. Corning has seen a resurgence amid the AI boom as hyperscalers such as NVIDIA and Google increasingly rely on fiber optic cables. To meet surging demand, the company is expanding its North Carolina plant into what it says will be the biggest fiber optic cable plant in the world. American Airlines foresees clearer skies in the first 3 months of 2026 after last year's government shutdown dinged the carrier's fourth quarter revenue by about $325 million. It hit us hard, according to CEO Robert Isom, who told CNBC those exact words. American expects to see their revenue grow 7% to 10% in the first quarter of 2026 compared to the same period last year, as its investment in premium travel starts to pay off. American currently trails rivals Delta and United in major airlines competing to lure high-spending customers. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to get into more news and information that you can use so you can enjoy the rest of your evening.
Don't forget the Cityscape Radio app and Brownstone Living Magazine.
All right, folks, welcome back to the neighborhood Brownstone Worldwide. Let's go ahead and get some more news and information. My mini-me just told you to head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com to get Cityscape Radio access, as well as Brownstone Living for the month of January with Shay Brown on the cover. He is giving you the 8 pillars of business success in 2026 in these unprecedented times. You absolutely do not want to miss an opportunity to get that free digital copy for yourself. So let's jump right into some more news and information that you can use. We're going to be talking about the man that was shot by Border Patrol in southern Arizona today. Federal officials have identified the man shot by U.S. Border Patrol agents in southern Arizona earlier Tuesday as 34-year-old Patrick Gary Schlegel, an Arizona resident with prior federal charges related to human smuggling. Now, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection and the Pima County Sheriff's Department, Schlegel was allegedly involved in a desert chase near West Arabica Road, during which officials claim fired at a CBP helicopter and Border Patrol agents on the ground. Now, agents actually returned fire, striking him. He was airlifted by medical helicopter, transported to a regional trauma center, underwent emergency surgery, and is now recovering in federal custody. Now, authorities report no law enforcement injuries were incurred. Now, here's an important context. Now, we know the story, but at this time, no body camera footage has been released. No helicopter video has been released. No civilian or bystander video exists. This means the public currently has only the government's version of the events. And this detail is highly heightened, especially now because of the scrutiny that's following recent federal shootings in Minnesota, where early official statements were later contradicted by video evidence. So the shooting is being investigated by Pima County Sheriff's Department, the FBI, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection of Internal Affairs. And officials say the incident is under active federal review. So now we know that this is the third known shooting involving federal immigration agents in January 2026, not December 31st, because we do know that a gentleman lost his life by an off-duty ICE officer on New Year's Eve because of, just people being trigger happy. There's use of force standards. There's federal law enforcement accountability that's on the table, and transparency, civil rights protections. Civil rights organizations are calling for a full public release of all video, forensic, and investigative evidence. And we're going to continue to follow this story because it is ongoing and developing. And as this information is provided to us, we'll definitely hand it over to you. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to start wrapping this up and giving you some more news and information that you need to definitely know about what's happening in the Brownstone and what's happening in your neck of the woods, in the neighborhood, that is. Welcome back to some more news and information that you can use. A major internal power struggle is emerging inside the Trump administration as Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem begins distancing herself from and quietly blaming White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller for the political fallout surrounding aggressive immigration enforcement tactics. Now, according to Axios, senior officials say Noam is now shifting responsibility onto Miller for the operational and political consequences of recent ICE and Border Patrol actions, particularly following two deadly federal immigration shootings in Minnesota, national protests, civil rights investigations, rapid collapse in public support for current enforcement strategies. And the news reports describe the situation as a blame shift underway at the highest levels. So we all know who Stephen Miller is. And if you don't know, he's widely considered the architect of Trump's immigration strategy, overseeing Operation Metro Surge, militarized ICE deployments, high visibility raids, mass street enforcement operations. These policies, once central to the administration's agenda, are now generating intense political backlash. And according to the news reports like Axios, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, and Reuters, Noam is facing increasing pressure from Republican lawmakers, civil rights groups, international allies, public protests. Sources say Noam is now framing Miller as the driving force behind tactics that became politically radioactive, particularly after video evidence contradicted early federal claims in the Minneapolis shootings, severely damaging administrative credibility. So the Wall Street Journal actually reports President Trump becoming furious after officials labeled ICU nurse Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist, only for videos to dismantle that claim within hours. Now, that moment reportedly triggered Trump's operational reset in Minnesota, sidelining Miller and installing Tom Homan to oversee its enforcement. So so it's not so much about sidelining Miller. He removed the current person that was there, sent him home, and installed Tom Homan to oversee that enforcement, a move seen internally as a major blow to that leader's authority. Now, Axios reports senior DHS officials now blaming Miller's operation for pushing tactics viewed as reckless and politically disastrous, adding, Noam is protecting her political future. She can hang it up. She can hang it up. Miller is being isolated inside the administration, and Trump allies are openly discussing reducing his power, which shouldn't have ever gotten where it currently is. So when we come back, we're going to start talking about some other things that you definitely need to know before we wrap it up for the evening. Stick around. All right, you guys, welcome back. Let me show you my mini me over here. She's going to be showing you guys what's coming next in the Brownstone.
Let's get healthy, neighbors.
Yeah, folks, you guessed it. We have coming to the Brownstone in February, Neighbor Care Telehealth. And I'll be sharing more information with you guys about how you can access Neighbor Care Telehealth and all of the things that will be a part of it as well. Okay, so just keep your ears and eyes open. And for now, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up this evening's podcast with some good news. So, scientists are announcing promising results from a new personalized mRNA cancer vaccine showing up to a 80% reduction in tumor recurrence in early stage melanoma patients. And this could actually transform cancer treatment, offering hope to millions. Listen, new UN data is showing that child hunger worldwide has dropped by 31% since 2015, thanks to expanded school meal programs, clean water initiatives, community farming projects. And that's a big win for humanity overall. Marine biologists confirm humpback whale populations have officially recovered from near extinction levels of the 1970s. And that's proof that conservation works. And listen, there are free mental health care expanding nationwide. Over 300 new community mental health clinics are opening in January, offering free therapy, youth counseling, and trauma recovery services. And this is going to be especially impactful for Black, Latino, and rural communities. And the U.S. hit a 10-year high in affordable housing development with 380,000 new units breaking ground, rent-stabilized community housing, and first-time home buyer programs are actually expanding. Sales of books by Black authors and purchases from Black-owned bookstores surged 47%, y'all, in 2025, sparking a nationwide revival of independent Black book spaces. And studies show that 10-minute morning rituals like stretching, journaling, or sunlight exposure, which I absolutely love personally, significantly reduce cortisol and anxiety. And another thing is listening to some of your favorite old school commercials and television shows doesn't hurt either throughout your workday. Or is that just me? And chefs are blending Southern soul food and Mediterranean health principles, creating smoked salmon and grits bowls, collard green quinoa wraps, and olive oil cornbread. Oh boy, you know I got to dig down the rabbit hole and find out more about that. And NASA-backed research shows homes with 3 to 5 indoor plants improve focus, mood, sleep quality. I could definitely tell you about that. Here's something else about this soft living trend. It becomes the 2026 lifestyle trend. More people are prioritizing the following: rest, peace, slow mornings, digital detoxing, and emotional boundaries. Soft living is actually radical self-preservation, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. So, for more news and information that you guys can always use, thank you so much for joining us today. But head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living magazine throughout your workday. We'll see you guys later on throughout the week for more of this. We'll see you around.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, exciting. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but